Okay, ladies and gentlemen, live streaming is back. I don't know how well you can hear me. It doesn't look like it's the most amazing audio, so we'll see. Now I am in Mexico, so it comes with the territory. Let's just see. I'm going to pull the stream up on my phone. But I know this is going to be watched by some people in the form of a recording. So for everyone watching this after the matter of the fact, I'm going to dive deeply into identity transformation, because that's the key to changing your life for good. Because our lives are dictated by the things we unconsciously identify with, right? These are called subconscious programs. These are called subconscious beliefs. And if you are not conscious of the things that are negative, then your life is going to be run on autopilot. Live streaming is all right. So we're live. Let's go, team. Give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I'm sending this to my Telegram group chat. All right. So I've come to the full conclusion that if you truly want to extract what you want from life and you want to live life to the fullest degree, it's not going to be found in the badge you wear as a corporate professional, like a lawyer or a mortgage broker or someone who invests in real estate. It's not going to be found in the sports car you have, the watch you wear. It's not found in the traditional world, for lack of a better word. It all comes down to your identity. And I don't think identity transformation is necessarily just like, oh, let me hold this ideal version of myself in my mind and bring it to life. I think true identity transformation is being renewed and kind of like reorienting your entire life around higher principle and concepts. Some of you are popping in right now. Drop a 1 in the chat if the audio's fairly good. I'm not going for a 10 out of 10 audio because I'm sitting on a busy road in Mexico right now, but we're still hanging out. We're drinking coffee. Mitty, thank you for the amazing comment on my video. I appreciate you showing such positivity. Derek, I see you. Someone said, "What's up, man? Glad you're alive." I'm glad to be back too. I'm glad to be back too, and I'm glad to be live. I am alive, but to be live on YouTube is another rare trait you're not going to see from me. I'm drinking some coffee. I'm hanging out. So for all of you that are coming in right now, I'm talking about identity transformation because I talk about God, I talk about spirituality, I talk about quantum physics and neuroscience. But the only reason this matters for your life is because you need to use these tools to transform your identity, to break these unconscious loops and subconscious beliefs that you have, right? The things we're attached to in the form of thoughts and emotions cause us suffering. And I'm going through this in real time as I transform my relationship with my business and my personal brand and take it to new heights that I want to take it to. I'm understanding it's all coming down to my identity, the things that I identify with, because super high level people that have really done the inner work, their mind has like a positive force field and it just repels negativity. But if there are things in your life that you attach to in the form of negative emotions and negative thoughts, that just shows like deeper areas of work that we need to do. So I want you guys to drop in the chat right now subconscious beliefs or subconscious programs that you might battle every day. and we can kind of like go through some of these lives, so I can like show you what a transformational protocol looks like in real time, because I don't need to guess when I got you guys right here to work with me. So please do me a favor. Drop any question in the chat, drop any subconscious belief that you think you're working through, or any way that you want to transform your identity, and we'll talk about it in real time. I want this to feel just casual, community, hanging out, drinking coffee. We'll get deep into it. But I can give you an example of like some subconscious beliefs that I am literally breaking through over the last 4 days. I've had to completely redo or re-engage my morning routine to really focus and emphasize presence, like really focus on presence and my ability to regulate my inner world, because my business is all on me. My personal brand is all on me. So I daily experience in real time the fact that I need to detach from outcome in everything I do, right? Instagram reels I post, and the Instagram stories I post, and the YouTube videos I post, and the meditations I post. I need to detach from all of it, or else I'm going to see a video that flops and I'm going to internalize that. And if I internalize that, then that's going to become a subconscious belief of what I'm capable of. And I'm just going to run into it every day. Krista says it's been a while. Gabrielle, what is up? I honestly love that name. Gabrielle is one of my favorite names. One of my first elementary school crushes' name was Gabrielle. So if she's watching this, I think she knows. But I just want to say I love that name. And thank you for joining me on live. Excited to hang out. Mitty says, I just finished my first roadmap meditation. My constant fear of failure and worry. All right, guys, we're breaking down subconscious beliefs and true identity transformation right now. So if you guys have any subconscious beliefs or things that you want to work through, have some vulnerability, drop it in the chat and let's break through it. Mitty's showing, he's wearing his heart on his sleeves right now, or she, not sure. Don't really got an idea who's behind the anonymous brand, but constant fear of failure and worry. All right, think about it like this. In those moments where you feel fear of failure and worry, it's triggered in the body. You start to feel this tension. And because you start to feel this tension and your body starts to be like, oh my God, there's a threat in my environment. What's going on? What's going on? Your mind starts to run rampant and think 101 different thoughts. So those 101 different thoughts are a product of that emotion. So we get caught up in attachment to the thoughts when we need to take it a layer deeper and work on letting go and surrendering the emotion. Now, one of the easiest ways I found to do this is if you truly believe and have a relationship with a higher power, that is like the easiest way to surrender and let go. And we can dive deeper into that, but I need to point out that the first part of identity transformation is learning to become present, learning to become free. Because in this moment is the only place we can transform. So identity transformation is not something that we do for a future version of ourselves. It's learning to be so present now that we can choose what we consciously identify with and what we consciously do not want in our everyday lives. Final Revolution says, any tips for people that over-identify with the wounds, traumas, and waiting for some sort of epiphany to make them move on with their lives? Yeah, of course. Right? We've all got wounds and traumas. Like we literally all do. Some of us have extreme wounds and traumas, but a lot of us identify with things as the most extreme form of a wound and trauma in everyday life. I think one of the easiest ways to overcome that and to deal with that is to really engage these spiritual teachings that I talk about. Because if you're like into that experience, right? I'm sure if you are reliving memories and traumas, you are reliving a past moment in the present. But if you're truly present, then you cannot be living in the past. So I think through breath work, through somatic healing, through like releasing tension in the body, like you're actually practicing these things and going through the pain and going through the struggle, like you train your body to become something new on a biological level. and to free yourself from replaying those thoughts and emotions in your body. And I know, like, I wish I could wave a magic wand and give you a solution to those types of things, but that is the solution. That is the magic wand. Like, if you have the experience of detaching and letting go from a negative thought or a negative emotion, you actually free yourself. You actually free yourself because it's no longer in your consciousness. You no longer hold the image of the worry or trauma in your mind, and you no longer engage with the feeling in your body. Like, that is what the greatest sages of all times talk about. And it will truly transform your identity to learn to live with these practices. Looks like Guillermo is saying, weed cigs, how do I stop them? All right, I struggled with weed for a super long time, but I'm coming up on 2 years of sobriety. I used to drink, I used to smoke weed. I've done everything you can imagine. I've done acid, I've done mushrooms, I've done Molly, like I've done everything. Let's just say I had my fun in college, and I'm completely sober now. My only fix, the only thing that you could see me ever potentially doing, is eating sourdough butter and honey every night with my roommate Jackson. That is my fix nowadays. So let's talk about how we can overcome these weed cigs. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that I've worked with, especially like clients of mine that work stressful jobs. Like, I worked with a guy named, actually not going to leave his name in, but ran a super successful mortgage broker firm. And every night he'd come home and like have a lot of stress going on in his home life and his health life. And he'd resort to drinking wine every night or smoking a little marijuana. And he just didn't want to do that anymore. Break your fixations and break your addictions. You need to realize this is a Joe Dispenza concept. All right, we're going to get into the sauce right now. Your body is conditioned to be your mind, meaning your body is programmed so deeply into this pattern, it just bulldozes over your conscious mind and aims to bring to life whatever familiar loop or familiar addiction or familiar experience that you live out every day, right? Your body's entire purpose is to create homeostasis, right? Homeostasis is just a baseline level of being. It's your body's idea of safety, but some of these things could be negative habits, right? That's what a lot of people have, like whether it's weed cigs or not. Shout out my boy Lewis in the chat. Yes, sir. We crusading right now live with the people. It's an identification with a loop in the body. Now your mind is trying to make sense of it. Like, why do I keep smoking these weed cigs? Do I keep these weed cigs? Like, but I'm sure you're not too powerless. Now, I know someone now that's trying to break their cigarette addiction because they smoke cigs. And I'm watching them go through this loop in real time. So whenever you have a craving, you need to realize that it's starting as a feeling in your body. It's probably anxiety. It's probably tension. You probably have like this built up pressure where it feels like it's starting to boil over. And then it starts to think like, oh, like, what should I do now? Probably smoke because now seems like the time that I want to get rid of this anxiety, right? That is the honest process through how we all do it. That's what I went through. Gabrielle says she's losing me. Everyone drop a 1 in the chat if I'm live, or drop a 2 if I'm cutting out and I'm not in the best form of live streaming scenario right now. All right, it's intermittent. All right, we're going right back to the sauce. That buildup of tension in your body is the thing that boils over and causes you to take action to relieve it, right? Your body starts to experience tension because you're not doing something familiar. You actually not smoking is more unfamiliar to your body than smoking. So the act of non-smoking is perceived as a threat because it's just not something you're used to. So what you actually need to learn to do is implement mindfulness routines. Learn how to kind of sit with that emotion in the body in the moment and not take action or react, right? It's a reaction when you go to smoke versus a response is to deal with that uncomfortability in your body and then take a proper step towards whatever you want to do consciously in your everyday life. Krista says, how do you deal with the spiral effect of being awake to the new reality and next day feeling worse and slowly crawling back up, getting to go back again, and so on? That's a great question. And I think I've got some unique insight because I've been working through some of my own unconscious beliefs that I've held for a year that I want to break through in real time, and no better time to test my practices and test my teachings and put them to the test. So the first thing we need to realize, Krista, is that those ups and downs are a natural byproduct of life. Like, life is forever going to be this. If it were stagnant, we'd be dead, right? Life is always changing. That's just a fundamental law of all spiritual teachings, is impermanence, right? And I saw this Shaolin monk talk about what happens when we get caught up in this trap. So I want you to think that I'm dangling a necklace right here, okay? I'm dangling a necklace. And if I am trying to avoid a negative experience and I push it away, I'm repelling it, right? So I'm saying stay away from me, but that's requiring energy, right? It's requiring energy for me to be like, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that, right? You're going to get exhausted from doing that because you're saying, I invest all my energy to keep staying away from me, to avoid or reject this negative experience. So guess what happens? That necklace is going to swing right back in your face. Versus, let's say you have a positive experience and you want to hold on to it. You want to hold on to the high highs. You're holding on to this necklace and you still have the tension. You're still holding on. But then you get exhausted and you have to let go because you can't sustain that anymore. And the necklace swings back away from you. So I think part of true transformation is realizing, like, the state that you seek is an inner seat of self-awareness. This is what all the gurus and all the spiritual teachers and all the religions are pointing to. But so many people get caught up in the teachings, they don't go in and experience the direct experience of what these teachings are about. Now, these direct teachings, when you are truly centered in yourself, you are aware of what's going on in your body and you're aware of what's going on in your mind, you are not giving your time, energy, attention, and focus to things outside of yourself. So Chris is like, hey, I'm becoming awake to this new reality. For me, I'm going to decipher that and be like, okay, she is waking up to this state of self-awareness, right? When you're saying, I have this new reality I'm tapping into, you're actually just experiencing a new level of being within yourself. You might think it's tied to external circumstances, but it's not. It's all internal. When you say, then I kind of spiral out of it, that's probably because you plug back into the old attachment to the material world, where you kind of lose your self-referential state of being, where you're like, oh, now that I feel like this new version of myself in this new reality, then I'm going to go get that high-paying job. Then I'm going to go get that romantic partner. Then my ex-husband's going to take me back, right? You see how you're doing the inner practice for an external outcome. And then as soon as you hop out of the internal practice because you think you're going to get an external outcome, that's where the spiral kicks in. That's like the toxic loop. Like, you need to realize that the only thing you need to do is maintain an inner state of peace. Everything comes from there. Like, and I can tell you with confirmation, like, when you maintain an inner sense of wholeness, anything you want and more will come your way. And I'm not just saying that. Like, I have an example. I'm in Puerto Escondido right now. I do not hang out with people or spend time with girls or do any type of social activity that I do not feel comfortable with. And when I do go out, I always maintain my inner sense of peace. I'm always focused on my inner world, even though the external world is always changing. As you go into these chaotic environments, there's a lot of people, a lot going on, and I'm just anchoring myself. I'm never moving from that place of center in anything I do. And anytime I do it, it causes me suffering. I've attracted every experience I want, whether it's the girls I'm attracted to or interested in Mexico, or the friend groups I want to be a part of, or the opportunities that I want to do in the form of excursions in Mexico without going outside of myself. And I can just tell you firsthand that's how it works. Pack Trader says, how do you sit through intense emotions? How do you constantly get through that discomfort to grow? I think the answer is in your question. You just have to sit through the emotion. Like, think about it. One of the ways I look at this, and I look at this transformational wisdom, is, am I going to let this experience right now of uncomfortability hold more power than the version of myself that I want to be? Because think about it. The version of yourself that you want to be, all these things that you're falling victim to now is just water under the bridge to that identity. So you just need to train your mind and body to go through these things. Like, you have to want to change and grow so much that it becomes your entire priority in every waking moment. That is what happens when you leave the external world behind and go within to see the transformation that you seek. I notice that as I am in solitude, a new reality. But as soon as I have to get to social situations, group meetings, it's like my windows get smashed. Krista, I hear you. But that's where you have to practice the meditation too. Like, the whole reason you're doing this work in solitude is so you can bring that experience that you're. All right, we're back. Yes, we are back. There we go. Let's go. I appreciate you guys being patient with me. I could be like all these other creators and get these fancy studios and these fancy setups, but it's like, is that really the point of any of this? No. Like, I'm comfortable with giving you guys the sauce off my balcony in Mexico with my spotty Wi-Fi sometimes. All right, where were we? I think, Krista, we were talking about the social situations. And it feels like your windows get smashed. That's all good. Like, just know, like, that's part of the experience too. Like, that's where you become like a true master. Like, that is where this wisdom and this teaching, I'm going to get out of the sun so I don't get like ultra sunburn. That is where these teachings make you a fucking pro. Like, it should be exciting for you to realize, like, all the experiences you want are on the other side of that. So it's like, I know it can be hard, but it's like, if you can go prove to yourself that it works and these teachings really do work, you're dialed in. Like, that's the whole point of all this transformational wisdom. I'm just constantly reminded that I love live streaming. I know we're not like a professional live streamer right now, with crazy like setup or audio, or like I'm doing IRL streams. I think IRL streams would be cool because you can see how I just dump my spiritual wisdom on the populace at random points in the gym. Maybe that could be something we look into. But I just like really enjoy talking to you guys, to be completely honest. Like, that's my favorite part of content, is just like the relationship I'm able to build with all of you. So we're going to keep live streaming and we're going to keep showing up. I was like, I'm just going to start live streaming at random times whenever I feel like it. Krista, does that answer your question? Does that make sense though? want to see how. Mitty says, Grant, on the 7 meditations, is it designed to be one day? No. You could break those up over 7 days. Like, because 7 days is where a lot of like transformation happens. Like, you start to really experience the benefits of meditation. So I'd look into that. And just try and like string out your time over that window. For me, I see the benefits of meditation. Like, it just depends how like disciplined I am with it, right? Like, I wasn't really disciplined with it over the last few weeks, and the last 96 hours I had to seriously hop into my practice again, because like my nervous system was actually going into fight or flight. So I don't want you guys to like watch my content and think I'm some guru. I'm putting my hands up right now, and I'm a 26-year-old that's trying to figure this out. And through my own experience, hopefully I can provide you guys some wisdom along the way. But just know, like, this is a lifelong practice. Like, there is never a destination with this way of life, because it is a state of being. Being is what we do right now in the present moment. So if you truly want to live the life you want, it's about making the decisions that align with that now. And your ability to be present and mindful and not get triggered by your people, places, and things in your environment is like an inner practice and an inner regulation that you need. You would be surprised. I'm 26, right? A large majority of the people that come to work with me, I haven't even launched my offer to the public in over a year, but everyone seeks me out in the DMs, and it's all people older than me. Because I think the older you get, the more life you live, you realize the importance of inner regulation. Like, you realize the importance of your identity. And if you become a slave and victim to circumstances outside of yourself, you need to upgrade your identity and upgrade your nervous system to handle those changes in life. I hope that's making sense. Because identity transformation for me is, Krista says, so this thing I am noticing and also wondering your thoughts. Do you also have moments where it's like you can sense not just other people, but also animals? Here's what I would say to that. The more you practice these teachings and the more you get out of your own way, you're tapping into what we call the source, right? The source energy, or the like one consciousness, the unifying state of mind that is just all of life, right? Like, we all are within this life force energy. So the less you're in your head and the less you're in your ego and the less you're making judgments and opinion upon the world, you start to look at life and sense them. But like beyond the barriers, it's like where you'll look into a dog's eyes and you'll see yourself, but not like Krista or Grant. You'll just have this moment of awareness where you recognize life. And like life becomes these strung along like magical spiritual experiences. But do not go chasing those spiritual highs. Those are gifts you get on this path of transformation from doing the work. Like, someone just DM'd me, Kimmo, if you're watching this, shout out my boy Kimmo. He said, this is what he said to me. Dude, had to reach out now. I've done the meditations and overloading myself with knowledge videos, yours and Joe Dispenza. Something happened. I feel like totally different person now. Amazing and happy. For some reason, I've seen 333 numbers a couple of times. Fantastic. Thanks a lot to you again. And what I said to him was synchronicities, a sign of higher consciousness. So you don't get into this work for the crazy. You are here because you've had spiritual experiences and awakening, trying to make sense of everything going on. So I hope I can be that person for you too. actually happens when you stop engaging with what like society tells you to engage with, because it's like our default state, right? Man was created in the image of God. And you start to see like the magic that is life, and you start to realize like everything comes from this one source, like this one energy that is at the back of all of life. So that's why Kim was like, I was doing these meditations and I started to feel amazing, and I felt like a completely new person, and I started to see these synchronicities. Like that is a telltale sign that you are in a higher state of consciousness. You see angel numbers, or you think of someone and they call you. It's like you're like a clear energy in that channel. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're still with me. If everything I'm saying is making sense, drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a 2 in the chat if I'm starting to get a little bit out in left field and you need a little more clarification to the things I'm talking about. I want to tap in with you guys and see what's going on. All right, Midi's getting it. Krista's getting it. There we go. I can also see the chat on my phone, but I don't want to overload myself with Wi-Fi. Overload myself with Wi-Fi. Also, a shameless plug, I started a new Instagram. Go DM. So like, if there's that stands out to you in the live stream, or any questions you have, or you just want to connect with me and tell me about your experience, like that's my new Instagram. Go check it out. Go engage with me. I just like to talk to you guys because that's the whole reason I do this, to be completely honest. All right. So I really want to circle back on identity transformation. That's like the general theme. A lot of the things I'm coming to realize, the one core fundamental mindset flaw with this journey is thinking that we need to go attain something, right? We think we need to go build a business to be seen as successful. We think we need to go find a romantic partner to be loved. We think we need to go become awakened to have a soul and to be seen as worthy in the eyes of the creator, right? This is like the fundamental mindset shift that causes a lot of suffering in everyday life, right? And this is what I see with a lot of my clients that I work with, is like they spent the last 20 to 30 years chasing like multi-million-dollar success. And they are just so burnt out on the hustle and grind because it's left them feeling empty, right? Their home life, their relationship with their wife and kids has become rough. They're literally seeing physical health ailments because of how much stress and burden they've been carrying. And I saw it in my own life at 24, right? So I don't think it's like a time kept experience to be battling that. Here, let me ask. I've got 10 of you here right now. Drop a 5 in the chat if you're burnt out on the hustle and grind. If you are tired of the hustle and grind and whatever life is selling us about getting a higher paying job, to buy more things, to live in bigger houses, to impress people we don't even care about, drop a 5 in the chat if you are burnt out on that. This is a temperature check. This is a temperature check. Midi is burnt out. I hear you. I know everyone is, because it's just fundamentally flawed. Like there's just a fundamental flaw in that mindset. Midi just wants peace. That's what we all want. It's funny you say that, because that's literally what we all want. And that's the conclusion I come to every time. It's the literal conclusion that I come to every time when I talk to people. So we all want peace of mind, right? Let's break that down. Peace of mind. We will never have peace of mind if we're living out the stress about the divorce, if we're living out the stress about work or managing clients, if we're living out the stress about seeing ourselves as not worthy and not having an identity that's worthy of success and love, right? It's literally just the fact that your ego has, think of your ego like a little dog. What do dogs like to do? They like to chew on bones. Your ego is always looking for something to chew on. It doesn't care if it's positive or negative. That voice in your head is like the fundamental issue. It's like the fundamental flaw in the human psyche that needs to be evolved. And I think it's just the most important journey we could walk is learning how to silence that mind. It's called the default mode network in the brain or in neuroscience. And Joe Dispenza did some research, and he saw that after people did a 7-day meditation retreat, the default mode network literally was turning off. Like it was less active, meaning that that voice in your head that's always narrating life and always complaining and always judging shuts off. 90% of your problems, if not 100% of your problems, are solved if we can get that done. So I think that's why I've just like shifted my message a lot too. And I'm really trying to get into the nitty gritty, like let's solve the secrets of the universe type stuff, but more just talk about surrendering and letting go of the old identity and the ego and the mind that keeps us trapped and setting ourselves free. Right, ladies and gentlemen? That's all we want. All right, let me pull up some stuff that I was writing down earlier that I want to share with you guys. What's the whole community you have built up? What if the whole community... Krista says, what if the whole community you have built up around you your entire life, all of a sudden you discover your beliefs do not align with it, but you cannot leave, explain, or convince? That's a great, right? Like you quote unquote have an awakening, you start to change, and you're like, well, everything around me no longer aligns. That's okay. You just have to continue to realize and be on your journey that it's like not about changing people. It's not about like changing life circumstances. It's about being like freed within. And I'm going to keep moving this camera because if I sit in this Mexico sun, I will turn into a lobster. Like you do not need to convince people of anything, Krista. Like this is your journey. Like live how you want to live, you know? Keeping my coffee in the Mexico sun, definitely keeping it warm. Like I don't walk around trying to convince my mom or my stepdad to believe what I believe. I don't convince them to be anyone other than who they are. I just accept life for what it is, you know? And I realize like this is my journey. This is my transformational story. And it's all like an inner journey, ladies and gentlemen. That's like the one piece of wisdom I wish I could convey to you, is that it's like all about what happens inside of you, right? Like you are the thing that transforms. And I was reading about this, that like our mind is directly intertwined with matter. So like your relationship with mind is shaping your relationship with matter. So Krista, you probably just need to continue to let go of that belief and let go of that mindset that your community and values and X, Y, and Z needs to be validated by those people outside of yourself, or you need to fit in, right? That's probably causing you a lot of suffering, right? That what you're holding in mind right now in the form of that statement is shaping the matter, right? Shaping how you perceive this community. So free yourself from that. Like realize that the only reason you're on this path and living this wisdom is because it's the only thing to do. Like it's literally the only thing to do. Gotta text my editor back. I hope that makes sense, Krista. I think it'd be cool to become like the brain nourishment live streamer. like every other form of live stream is honestly like brain rot or like political talk shows. So I think to become kind of like the spiritual, more like brain nourishment, like, hey guys, like come spend time with me if you want to like feel peace and freedom and abundance and joy and like learn to walk the transformational path of the sages every day would be awesome. Like, I love YouTube and I love Instagram, don't get me wrong, but it's like, even just posting videos, I feel disconnected from you guys. But like here, Krista, we've been talking for like 30 minutes. Like, thank you for hanging out with me. Midi, you too. I want you guys like not to just sit at home and watch and be like a casual gamer. Like, I want you to feel like a part of this community, like that you can like speak up and get the help and support and teachings you need, right? This path is not meant to be walked alone. Like, even though it's an inner journey, like we get to walk it together and we get to support each other. So I really enjoy this. Like, this is my favorite way to build a relationship with you guys. Mitty said, synchronicity led me here. I love that. If you can see, I'm getting more and more reserved into the shadows right now. I honestly might even be able to take this upstairs. All right, guys. New location unlocked. You're coming with me. It's going to feel like a vlog. We got to get the laptop, too. I could show you guys my house. Maybe. All right, this is the second floor. My roommates' rooms are up here. And we're going up to my room. Christ saves. I was dealing with the sun, so it just looked like Krista. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the roof. Well, Christ saves. What's your real name? All right, here's my rooftop in Mexico, or you probably see me film my videos. D-Day. D-Day. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. No disrespect. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my Mexico crib. MTV, welcome to my cribs. I'm actually going to set this up right here so it doesn't look like I'm looking away from you guys. Look at that. Shade. Shade. Would it be cool if I did like IRL streams, took you to the gym with me, and just talked about the things I talked about? I don't know how the whole connection scenario would go here in Mexico, but maybe that's something I do when I get back to the States. You're probably going to hear some construction in the background. They've built that entire property since I stay here. D-Day. D-Day. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to be getting ready to go to the gym here soon. I hope I can be like a testimony to how spiritual wisdom like actually leads to identity transformation. I mean, my identity has shifted so much over the last few years just living this type of way. But I also think like I physically look different. This was me in like 2018. Me now. I like your life actually changes. Like you get repatterned by higher principle wisdom. Someone said holy transformation. I know. See, this is what happens when you're on a low frequency. High frequency. I think the proof is in the pudding, you know? And I think it's the external world becomes a reflection of the inner one. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like all those spiritual sayings, like your inner world is your outer world, is true. And I think just looking back on my journey, it makes a lot of sense. We're going to see what the D-Day. I noticed the way you consume changes as well. Exactly, food, but also all other kinds of things. See, that's like you're saying the quiet part out loud. Is that like everyone's so stressed in self-development because they're trying different things. Trying to change your diet. You're trying to get off social. You're trying to stop doom scrolling. You're trying to stop smoking weed. You want to X, Y, right? Like, but that's like the worldly things. That's just the worldly things. Like, that's why we're called to go within. Like, go within. The kingdom of heaven is within. Go seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And the rest shall be added unto you. Like, it's in that phrase and verse right there. You have to go walk the inner path and then everything changes. You don't even have to worry about changing your diet because you're just not going to want to eat things that mess with your inner peace. Like, I do go eat junk food because it literally makes my brain hurt and makes me feel worse off. You do stop consuming nonsense because it's just like pointless. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be doing a lot more streaming. This is just me getting back into the routine. I like this because I'm like doing nothing else during the day besides the gym and content and hanging out and reading my Kindle and doing my research. So I think it'd be fun to just spend a lot of that time together and we can just hang out. I got nothing but love and peace for you, and I wish you guys the best on your journey, and I hope you take something from this live stream. I don't know what the streaming schedule is going to be. I'm just going to be on here when I'm on here, but if I'm always going to send it to the Telegram chat. So if you're in the Telegram chat, that's awesome. If you're not, go check out the descriptions of some of my YouTube videos. You'll be able to join from there. And those are going to be the ones that get first access to me going live. So I got nothing but love and peace for you, and I'll see you in the next one. D-Day, everyone else, yeah. Peace.